Hey there, I'm B, and this is my channel. I'm the creator of Witchery Academy, a life simulator where you live the adventures of a wizard student. Today we are going to continue with the Let's Make a Stealth game series, and today we're going to work on a zoom effect. I have this festive scene here. This is Christmas. Christmas is around the corner, so why not include this nice Christmas tree? So I have this a gift right there, this present, my little robot, and if I go close to that, I have this zoom effect that is applied to that present. Today we are going to continue with the Let's Make a Stealth game series, and today we're going to work on a zoom effect. I have this festive scene here. This is Christmas. Christmas is around the corner, so why not include this nice Christmas tree? I have this a gift right there, this present, my little robot, and if I go close to that, I have this zoom effect that is applied to that present. To implement this zoom effect on the interactive, we're going to continue using my basic interactive template. I'm going to include that code in the description below, along with the MainCharacter code, which is really the element which makes the zoom. But if you visit my itch.io page, you can get this project with all the code included. I'm not going to include this map on that because this is an asset from a paid asset and I can't include that. But you will have an example of this interactive in examples, this folder, zoom effect, with the same example. Now let me show you first the blueprint robot character, which is the one who makes the effect. To make that effect, every character that you create in Unreal comes with this camera boom and the camera component. So what we are going to do is move this in this direction, like that, and we will do that effect. If I go to the interactive and I open this, you will see this is my basic interactive with an interactive mesh, an interactive collision, and a lookout point for looking at the object. And we're not doing anything special in this one. I only added a few lines of code for that, which is zoom when in range. This will be false as a default, and if I want one object that I want to make do the zoom effect on that, I will put this tick. Everything is done in this. Let's check first the code for the basic interactive. I've explained this in other projects, other episodes. But basically, this is the main important thing on all the basic interactives are the interactive collision, which is the element that detects if the player is on the box collider or not. For the zoom in range or the zoom effect, I'm using a U property, which is edit defaults only, so you cannot edit this on the map, only on the blueprint on the defaults. With a getter, so I can access this from the main character. Just to recap, this UBox component has the begin overlap, end overlap, and interact. This is the main elements that this interactive use and the player controls. If I go to the TPP, the interactive collision, the box has the begin overlap and end overlap, which is used to detect if the player is there. And basically, when there is a begin overlap and we retrieve the main character, we will send a reference to this interactive to the current character. And from the character is where we do the interactions, or in this case, the zoom effect. The same happens on end overlap, which only clears the reference and it will do other stuff on the other side. The other important function is interact, which also is used from the main player controller when a player presses the E key or the interact button on the controller, on the gamepad. For this tutorial, we only care about this and this, and the rest is done in the main character. If I go now to the main character, which is this one with my robot, as I said earlier, I'm going to control this camera boom, which is already on the base code of any character that you create. In my case, is the main character, which is the basic character that comes with the template that I use at the beginning, which is the top-down template, which makes things easy if you start from an already template, because it comes with a few things that you don't have to do yourself. So if I go to that, you have a character, you will have that, which is the element really, the spring arc component, which is the element really that you are interested to do the zoom in and zoom out. Now, if I go back to the interactive base, this set interactive in range is a function that is right here, and also the clear one. If I go to the CPP, you will see that it receives the interactive, the reference, and I check if this one has a zoom, and then I call the zoom in, which is nothing else that initialization function for some variables that I'm gonna show you right now. And when I call clear interactive, when the character is out of the box collision, I will do the same. I would say, okay, yes, this interactive has zoom when in range, so do the zoom out, which is another initialization function. Now let's go to the 8 and let me show you what I did to do this effect. So we have zoom in, zoom out. At this handle zoom with delta seconds, it's a function that is called on the tick, because the zoom in and zoom out function are going to control on the tick. That's why I have all of these properties right here. First, I have an initial camera zoom, which is the default value that I had right now. So if I go here, camera boom, I have this one. This one works for me. I was playing around to see which values I want. Now the target camera zoom, this is when you do the zoom in, will be this one. Again, this works for me. You should put whatever works for you. And finally, zoom transition speed, which is the speed for the transition on the tick. Next, we have a boolean to detect if we are doing zoom in, and another one if we are doing zoom out. And this is the current camera zoom, which is the one I'm going to use to control what is the current, what is the state between this and this. Now, if I go to zoom in, you will see that it's nothing else that set the boolean, and the current camera zoom is 0, and the zoom out is the same, but using this B zoom out. Now, when this happens, these booleans will be detected on the tick, and it will call this handle zoom. Let me show you. If I go to the tick, on the tick, it will call this handle zoom with this delta time, and depending on those variables, it will do one thing or the other, or it will do none if both booleans are false. And now the main culprit of all of this. So if we are in zoom in, all we do is change the current camera zoom, what we do is current camera zoom will have the zoom transition speed, which is 3 and the delta second, and we apply that to the target arm length, which is the camera boom. So this will zoom in, so it will make closer the camera using the minus. When we are right at the target camera zoom that we set here, which is this, it will finish the movement and it will set this to false. And on the camera zoom transition zoom out, it will do exactly the opposite. It will start at 0 and then it will add this value, and when it reaches the initial, which is the other opposite, it will stop. And that's it, that's all it does, nothing else. So basically the effect is this. Zoom in will start with current transition in 0, 0, and it will, that current transition 0, 0, it will do with the delta time, it will accumulate values, and it will apply those values to this camera boom. That's fine. So it will do this, and then when we don't want to do that anything else, it will go back. So it uses this target arm length. Now if I go to BP robot character, the main root, you will see that I have camera zoom, the values that I want to change, so I can change the speed, and in my case I changed this to 30 because 3 seconds 3 was slow. So I can edit this here to without compiling, which is very, very handy. Now finally, let me show you how this works again in this example. So we'll do zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Finally, let me show you how to create one of these, which is very simple. So I will go to the C++ classes, game logic, and select the interactive. In this case, it's this interactive phase. I will create one. Then go to the game, blueprints, and I'm going to do BP. So zoom in, out, example. Okay, we will have this. So let's set that a cube. In this case, I don't care really what it is. We can do this smaller, and we can modify this so we have room for the robot to step on it. Okay, and now the important thing is, as I said, this will be default, so it won't work. To do that, and finally we can place this here and it should work. We have that. If we set this to false, it should not do the effect because the booleans that I have set on the player controller are false and nothing happens. Exactly like we want. This one has the variables and this one that doesn't. Okay, well, that's it for today. It was a quick tutorial and very simple and very handy. I hope you liked it. If you did, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, like, share, it helps. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye!